All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BADGaming Podcast. This is a notable podcast for us in that we are podcasting from locations that are spread out across the United States. We're not all in the same room for the first time, so if there are any technical problems, please excuse those while we work out the kinks in this process. I am one of your co-hosts, Brock Morgan. I'm joined by Alex Lina, all the way out in New York City, New York.
Yeah. Out here in New York, where the city does actually sleep. I've actually been kind of disappointed by the lack of never sleeping. Never sleeping.
Oh, really? Huh.
Like that.
Stuff actually closes in New York? I thought that was one of the benefits. Oh, that's...
Yeah.
What the heck? All right, that's... there's certainly...
yeah,
there's some false advertising lawsuits to be had there, I think.
Chicago is windy. Anyway.
They at least nail that, so that's true. I'm also joined by Zach Bizan. All the way. Yeah, you're joining us from Noblesville, Indiana, I hear.
That's right, Noble-Tucky.
Noble-Tucky. I'd forgotten about that. That's, all right, nice. Let's see. And in the same room as Zach is Isaiah Standridge, of course, also in Noblesville, Indiana.
Yep, hello.
All right, let's see. Derek and Dave not joining us for this podcast for scheduling reasons, but we hope to bring you a part 2 with all of those people. This is our Game of the First Quarter podcast, so we're going to be talking a lot about the games we've been playing that have been released so far in the year 2013. We'll also just get to a general, this is what we've been playing that, didn't necessarily come out in these past few months. Before we get into that, though, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Doing
Yeah,
good.
really good.
Everybody's doing all right. Alex, of course, you're out in New York for school reasons. How's that adjustment been? How's the semester going?
It's pretty good. I just registered for classes for next semester. This is the last one for this program, so that's exciting.
Wow, yeah.
Nice. Good job, bravo.
Right.
Other than that, just a lot of reading and a lot of writing. And games in between.
Excellent. Always nice. Let's see. Zach, how are things going for you there?
Pretty well. Working still at Charleston's restaurant. Great place to work. Good food, good people.
All right, very nice.
Currently looking for jobs. Brought to you by
Brought
Charleston's.
to you by Charleston's. Good food, good times, good people.
I think the trailer actually says it's okay.
It's okay. Wait, really?
I think so, is it?
That's their slogan?
I don't know.
Why not just say it could be worse?
Yeah.
Charleston's, it could be worse. Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, things going well at Charleston's, I hope.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah? Okay.
Isaiah no longer works there, which is sad.
I heard about that. I was going to ask him about that if he doesn't care to share the details to our myriad listeners. I'm sure he doesn't have to, but just time for a change, Isaiah?
Yeah, it was. Just some disagreements with some management and stuff. Going to Grill seems awesome. So I'm really looking forward to working there.
I enjoyed my time there.
And
Yeah.
sushi and stuff, which is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool to hear you there. I'm going to have to come and visit the Kona Grill now. I've never been there, so that could be interesting.
Yeah, it's good. Huge menu.
I mean, it is right next to Mitchell's Fish Market, though, so that
Exactly.
I do really love Mitchell's Fish Market.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you'll be impressed.
All right. Yeah, I've only ever heard good things, so yeah, I'd look forward to trying it. All right.
So yeah, I'm still doing 15 credit hours and working full time, and then games in between as well.
All right. That's a lot to manage. So I'm glad that's going all right.
So, how about you, Brock? How are things with you?
I guess they're going all right. My time at Hacienda is dragging on, I suppose. I'm now fully trained in the kitchen, so I can handle things in the dish room, the prep room, and the kitchen now. So if you come to Hacienda and I'm working, there's a decent chance that I will have made the food that you're eating. So.
Wow.
Very cool.
I don't know whether that's a positive or a negative. We'll see. I haven't heard of any awful
for the first time.
Awful thing.
Not yours, but
really?
I went to one in Northern Indiana.
Okay.
South Bend.
No breakouts of E. coli or anything, or salmonella.
Not that I know of, but it does kind of frighten me that now if I screw up in either one of both food, preparation areas, that could be bad. So I think I'm really one of two people who in the restaurant who handles things both in the prep room and in the kitchen. So hope I don't screw up.
So yeah, you just blame it on the other guy.
Oh yeah. That was totally Mandy's fault. Don't worry about that. That was that wasn't me. But all right, yeah. So that's been going well. I'm still looking for a job, and my car is no longer functioning. So that's made things. That's made things interesting. My transmission is toast.
Crap.
No.
Yeah, so I'm investigating getting that fixed or buying a new old car. So yeah, but that's boring and expensive, and I don't want to think about it. So let's think about something I do want to think about: video games. What have you guys been playing? Let's talk about stuff that's come out this year.
All right, where do we want to start? Do we want to start at January? What we've been writing reviews for, or what do you think?
I think going chronologically could be a good idea.
Sounds good.
Uncover stuff that people in the room have played.
All right. The first major release of the year was probably Anarchy Reigns.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I know, let's see, Alex and Isaiah, you both had hands in reviewing this for our site.
Yeah, I've actually been meaning to go back to it and play it again on hard.
Cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
I just haven't done that yet.
All right.
Yeah, good game.
So, for those who don't know, what kind of game is this? Who made it? What kind of pedigree do they have? Stuff like that.
Oh, you're just pandering because I love the people who made this game.
I think it's good for discussion.
Yeah. This is a Platinum game from the former Clover Studios, now Platinum Games. They made Bayonetta. It was probably their most critically acclaimed game since they've been Platinum. I mean, they made Okami and Beautiful Joe as Clover Studios, and those did very well as well. So yeah, they're definitely one of my favorite developers, but Anarchy Reigns is probably one of my least favorite games of theirs, but that's just because all the other ones are really good.
Okay, so
Isaiah made a really good point in our review about how a multiplayer Bayonetta could work similar to this, and they could learn a lot from this experience. So if they do make the Wii U version, I guess because the Wii U version is going to be probably the only version, at least for a while.
Yep.
That could hopefully they'll be able to transfer some stuff that they learned from this experience to that.
Okay, that's I as a big fan of Bayonetta myself, the idea of multiple characters like that fighting all at once is pretty crazy, and crazy is right up Platinum's alley. So hopefully they can continue in that proud tradition and be awesome. So yeah, it's I hope they take what they need to from this and go forward. So
they actually really made it work. That was the thing that most impressed me about the game. Like the multiplayer actually worked really well for a beat 'em up game.
Yeah. How easy was it for you to find a match?
Not so bad. Like the first day, but worse after that.
Yeah, I had a couple problems getting some matches in, but yeah. What I did, I got to try a whole ton of different modes. So I actually found this straight out, just 8 different people all fighting against each other is one of my least favorites. So there were some team ones that were a lot of fun. Other sort of modes like that were pretty cool. Yeah.
All right. I guess just for people who are unaware, what kind of game is Anarchy Reigns? I don't think we've gotten to it on that base level yet.
It is a 3D third-person character action game where you play as Jack from Mad World, another Platinum game, as one of the options. As far as the campaign goes, there's 2 players you can choose for the single-player campaign, and Jack from Mad World's one of them. The story is interesting, I guess. It's strangely serious at times when in such a ridiculous world. It feels a little out of place, but they make it work, I think.
Definitely. And actually, Bayonetta is playable online.
Yeah. Are we moving on to the next one?
We can. I mean, if there's anything you guys want to continue to say about Anarchy Reigns, I know I haven't played it. I don't know if Zach's played it at all.
I've seen the first level or 2.
All right.
That's about it.
Okay.
The game has a little bit of a learning curve. More than most I've played recently, yeah. Next is another third-person character action game, DMC Devil May Cry.
All right. So, who's... let's see, I know we had at least one person review this one. I can't remember if we had any collaborators on it.
No, I think just Derek reviewed this one.
Just Derek, all right.
But I also played it, though.
I've also completed it.
Same here. I've completed it as well.
I also played the DLC.
Holy cow.
I played Virgil's Downfall.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, is
It's
that
pretty
good?
cool. It's cool because you can play as Virgil, so completely different moveset. They actually introduced new enemy types, which I found to be impressive that they actually put that much work into a piece of downloadable content. So story-wise, it's not crucial, but the cutscenes are in a different style. They're really super artistic and like a painting, weird, which is really weird, but it works in this way. I'm sure
Cool.
it was cheaper too than the whole 3D stuff they did in the game, the main game.
Yeah, I was hoping you were gonna just be playing through the campaign as Virgil. So I'm kind of disappointed that was just set like it's most set like a dream world, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to spoil the ending of the game, but yeah, it is. Yeah, it just takes place right after the end of the game. Yeah.
All right,
Virgil,
so
it's
DMC, obviously standing for Devil May Cry, the reboot of the classic Devil May Cry franchise, plays somewhat like those crazy combos, third person action kind of stuff.
about the
So,
weapons.
you guys obviously like the game a lot.
I did like the game a lot.
Definitely.
I found it was great, but not as good as the older ones. I feel.
All right, I personally have not gotten the chance to play the game. I have had several of my coworkers talk to me about it. One of them says that it is the absolute pinnacle of the genre. Liked it more than Bayonetta. Liked it more than other games like that. Saying it's potentially the best character action game ever made. I don't think anybody in here exactly shares that opinion.
No.
But it's clearly impressing a lot of different people. So it's a game that I look forward to trying.
It's a top tier action game though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones.
I don't know if we want to start comparing it to Revengeance already, but I'm going to do that anyway. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and because they came out so close, and it's another third-person character action game, so I think it's important to discuss them both together.
Sure.
But I definitely like the main core combat in Revengeance a lot more, but as far as like a whole package, DMC's got a stronger like pacing, the characters are more interesting, the environments are definitely better and more creative, and there's just so much color bursting through in DMC. It's just it's a fun ride. Whereas Revengeance was just pure joy the entire way through, but not because of the other stuff to actually playing it, which is why I like Revengeance more, because the combat is so satisfying and slicing dudes up. Blade mode is very satisfying. Yeah.
It takes a little bit higher of a level to play at, really, with the parry system.
Yeah, definitely. Another platinum game. Oh man.
Weird.
But yeah, DMC was made by Ninja Theory. I've actually completed their other two games, Heavenly Sword and Enslaved Odyssey to the West, and DMC is definitely their best game so far.
Very good to see them.
No question there.
Very good to see them improving over time. Yeah. Always nice to hear of a developer continuing to improve upon themselves, and should be really interesting to see where they go after DMC, whether they do a DMC 2. I have no idea how the story in that game ends, or if they set it up for a sequel at all, but
It ends well.
It ends well.
Yeah, they could do a sequel. I mean, then they have to overcome the stigma of what that is, Devil May Cry 2. I don't know what they call a sequel to that game, because the first DMC 2 was apparently not very good.
The weakest, for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I do find it interesting that Zach likes DMC 4 more, but he's also, I should say Devil May Cry, so you don't get confused. Devil May Cry 4 more, because he was like top tier leaderboard contender, right? If I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, but not that high up. It was like around like 80,000, nothing like top 10,000.
Oh, okay. But so you put a lot of time in the Devil May Cry 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I would say
go ahead.
I would say I really enjoyed the combat system, the new one, where they implemented the grapple system. So that's pretty new for Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
And then also having the 2 grapple systems made it even more cooler.
Yeah, in combat I really liked that, but in the platforming, I don't know, it differentiated the gameplay, but I don't know, I think they leaned on it a little too much.
Yeah.
Personally.
They overused it.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of like Uncharted for the Vita. Did you remember that game from last year? Uncharted Golden Abyss.
What
You
about
kind of
it?
used the touchscreen a lot.
Right.
I think they implemented that too much as well in this game. They try to use too much of the newest kind of stuff, not focus on combat.
Okay. All right. So it felt it got a little distracted from what it was doing really well, and then I guess you're talking about the grapple specifically, like just trying to shoehorn that in a little too much.
Yeah, that's for like a platforming.
Okay.
I think they're going for like two distinct parts of the game. Like you have your action parts and then your platforming parts, and then story cutscenes between. But
I don't know. I guess I know you. I guess you previously lauded the game's pacing. I guess so. I just from a description of that, it seems like it could get kind of weird in that you're going directly from really high action to platforming to really high action. I don't know. I guess I'm glad they pulled that off because
I definitely found the flow really, really good.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Yet another game I need to try before we do anything game of the half year related. I've heard way too many good things to not give that a shot, so that'll be very interesting. And I've never played a Devil May Cry game before, or a DMC game in this case. So
I think you'll like it a lot, just because like that. I think Zach really liked Devil May Cry 4 more because he had a strong history with the series. Whereas I didn't as much. I had beaten Devil May Cry 4, I'd started Devil May Cry 1 and 3, but I didn't really like those three games that much, and really liked the first one considerably more.
Huh.
The new one.
What did I say? James? Yeah.
Yep.
2013.
Reboots.
Tomb Raider, guys. 1990. Never mind. Okay, we'll get there. I guess the next January game would be Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch.
All right, and we've got both of our reviewers in our podcast for that, Alex and Zach. So, a very well-reviewed game by other outlets. What did you guys think? If our listeners haven't read the review,
I think Zach just finished it, right?
Yeah, I just finished it half week ago, a couple days ago.
Nice.
All right, way to
good.
inform our listeners that you beat the game after the review was published. Excellent. Okay.
Good job.
Lifting up the curtain on that one. Anyway, yes. I'm sorry.
right.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please continue.
No, it's okay. Great game, good story, good gameplay. I was actually surprised. It's one of the better JRPG games I've played in many years.
Excellent.
Didn't play Xenoblade.
Oh man. Yeah, it's to hear that it's one of the best JRPGs in years, especially in a generation that hasn't been ultra heavy on them. But coming from you, a person who likes JRPGs quite a lot, that's very high praise.
Yeah, with Studio Ghibli working on it, and also the music with Tokyo, their concert. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that was really impressive.
Yeah, there's some good tracks in there.
Nice.
I just couldn't get into the combat system. It got really grindy for me at points, even playing on easy. I'll definitely admit that I played it on easy versus normal, and I'm very, very glad I did. Because I still found myself grinding for a couple hours at a couple points of the game. And, yeah, I mean, this is Ni no Kuni kind of encapsulated what a lot of people describe as the conflict between storytelling and gameplay. When you have such a well-paced and just absurdly good-looking game, and then you're just hitting these brick walls of difficulty where you have to grind for hours, just totally kills any kind of momentum that a game has. Xenoblade had that problem even worse, I will admit, but I liked Xenoblade probably more in general, and that's just because I enjoyed the core combat more, and that's what you do the most in JRPG is the core combat.
Sure.
And as far as like main battle themes go, the music in the rest of Ni no Kuni is really good, but the main battle theme that you hear over and over again actually wore on me within like the first hour or two for what was me 30 hours. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII for the first time. I'm at 6 hours right now, and I am finding myself to really like the main battle theme of that game. And that goes a long way in JRPGs, I'm finding, after having played Digital Devil Saga earlier this year, and that game being definitely one of the lackluster Shin Megami Tensei games by comparison. The main battle theme was a big help in me continuing that game to completion.
Wow. Okay.
There's a city called Hamelin, and it looks like a pig.
What?
That's cool.
That was pretty awesome.
Oh man. All right. Let's see. All right. Did anybody have anything else to say about Ni no Kuni? I guess. I mean, anything?
Anything?
Good. Yeah.
We're good. I'm gonna say I rated it pretty low, like a low 90. It was a really solid game.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. Easily one of our higher review scores, I think, so far this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on, I guess. What came next chronologically?
Actually, I have to move back like a couple days chronologically, but The Cave came out. Before Need for Speed, but I think it is around the same time. Yeah, I played The Cave. It is a good puzzle game, and it is a shame that there aren't 9 characters instead of 7, which seems like the worst of oversights. I didn't really talk about that much in the review. I should have, as far as replaying it goes. That is a big pain. Because if you want to see all 7 of the stories, you can only bring 3 characters with you at a time through this puzzle/adventure game. And so you see all 3 stories of those characters, and then you see the next 3, and then you have 1 left, but you have to bring 2 you've already seen. And it takes about 4 hours to get through when you know what you're doing on the common puzzles that you have to redo every time. Now, I'm making the game sound pretty terrible right now, but it's not terrible. Just the conceptually the multiple playthroughs, and if you want to see everything the game has to offer, it's definitely more inconvenient than it needed to be. But playing it the first time, just picking 3 and going and enjoying it, you could still have a really good experience with just that, which is, I've played through it a second time, so I've seen 6 of the 7 endings, and I honestly have pretty much no desire to see that last character, because
man,
that is just seems like a poor design choice.
For a game that features so much personality, and the way they try to differentiate all 7 of those characters, it seems really strange that it would put something like that would really prevent you from wanting to see what that game is really trying to offer. That's
it gets even worse if you're if you're hunting achievements. It gets even worse because there is actually a good ending and bad ending for every character. Oh. So you'd have to play through the game 8 times, get all the achievements.
Wow.
No, not 8, 6 times. 6 times, sorry. But still, that's
pretty
ridiculous. And the only thing playing it again will get you is just like 1 extra still and like probably 2 lines of writing.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's all right. So maybe completionists maybe stay away from The Cave, but fans of point and click adventures or quirky games from places like Double Fine, would probably find a good bit of entertainment in that game.
And it's generally genuinely funny at times, and is actually pretty creepy in a lot more times.
Huh?
Really?
Yeah, it's good though. I could recommend it.
All right. Yeah, it's
moving on.
Sure. Moving on. What's next?
Skulls of the Shogun.
Ah, excellent. All right. Now we get to chew on the content of Skulls of the Shogun for a bit.
Chewing on the skulls.
Oh, that's a core mechanic of the game, so it's funny.
It is.
Oh, man. So Alex and myself actually reviewed this one, and I'm a big fan of Skulls of the Shogun.
It is good.
I'm not a huge, turn-based strategy guy. I've been trying to kind of broaden my horizons in that respect lately. It's one reason I'm looking forward to talking about one of the games that's coming up. But, it's Skulls of the Shogun, an Xbox Live. Is it exclusive to Xbox Live right now?
I know.
No, it is on other
it's at least on tablets.
Oh, it's on,
I think, some
PC.
Tablets.
Yeah, there's a mobile version as well. Yeah. Okay, so I guess console exclusive for Microsoft. But,
the cross multiplayer was a big deal.
It is not on Steam.
For multiplayer.
Okay. I have not gotten to experiment personally with that multiplayer, but the core game, the core game anyway, is very much a turn-based strategy game, very friendly to consoles and controllers in that your units all move in circular directions, so it's very easy to control. Different buttons are mapped to different actions, of course, so there's not you don't get things too confused too quickly and too often. But that game's really good. That game's got so much charm, so much humor. It's really enjoyable.
A lot of really good one-liners and references.
Oh yeah, there's an Anchorman reference in the first 10 minutes, so I knew I was in for a good time.
Wow.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Wow, that escalated quickly. That really got out of hand fast. Like that's one of the lines during the very first mission. So definitely a lot of fun. A lot of personality. The game looks really good. The game sounds really good. And it's got a really nice difficulty curve, and it never feels too incredibly too incredibly difficult, except for maybe a couple specific missions that were really a bit more challenging than I felt they should have been. But yeah, that game.
Yeah, some of those.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, some of those last missions were just like I felt completely defeated.
Yep.
Like in a lot of those last missions, and it was just so rewarding to I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to see this through, and see if I can actually turn this around. And then most of the time I did, and it felt really good. It was crazy.
Oh yeah.
So they do a good job of making you feel terrible and then making you feel good, which is weird.
Yeah,
for a game to do that, I guess.
See, usually turn-based strategy games just make me feel terrible, and then they make me feel even worse, and then they make me feel even worse, and then I quit the game forever. So I'm very glad Skulls didn't do that to me. I thought that second to last mission was absolutely brutal until I got it.
Definitely.
So yeah, definitely a lot of fun. I'd easily recommend it to fans of the genre, especially ones who are would like to experience that kind of a game on a console as opposed to PC or a handheld, where you're more likely to see them. But really nice, really funny, and a great little game.
Yeah. All right. Next, and I think last January game, unless Brock played Ika-chan on 3DS.
I have not yet, unfortunately. I do plan to.
I can't remember when Gunman Clive came out. It's another 3DS shot. That one was also January. But the next one's a PC game entitled Kentucky Route Zero that I played, purchased all 5 episodes at once, and this one came out in January, and it's now the middle of April, and we haven't got a second episode. So 5 episodes. I don't know if we're gonna get all 5 this year, which kind of has me worried as far as just like awards and stuff goes.
That could be a bit of a nightmare, yeah.
But what is there in the first one, it's impossible not to talk about The Walking Dead when it comes to episodic gaming now. But it does a really good job, like the first episode of The Walking Dead did, with setting the setting and giving you like a little glimpse into what the world has and its potential. And it does a really good job of that. I'm definitely interested. I'm anxious for the next episode for sure, but it's hard to judge it by itself with just one when there's going to be 4 more, like with The Walking Dead. After the first one, I was like, okay, this is really good, but it's going to have a lot of potential to live up to. Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at with Kentucky Route Zero. It has a great art style, though, we'll say.
Okay. Nice. It's cool. Yeah. It's really interesting to see how that kind of game is going to change because of the things that Telltale laid down on The Walking Dead, and I'll be really interested to see how that genre will be affected by the massive success that The Walking Dead was. So that could be really interesting to see how things move forward.
Yeah, I guess part of me is rationalizing it as they're making choices actually matter, maybe, and that's why it's taking them so long. I don't know, but there are a lot of places where you can see it's like, wow, this path could split in multiple directions. There's all these dialogue options that honestly don't make a lot of sense most of the time, and I'm really interested if they'll actually make any impact in the story.
All right.
So like where you end the episode can be in several different locations, I believe. So I think that'll impact the following ones.
What is the setting of that game?
Yeah. What's that game about?
Kentucky. Oh yeah, I guess I haven't really said what it is either. It's a 2D adventure game. Not too many puzzles in the first one. There's a little tip of the hat to the puzzle genre here and there, but it's mostly just straight up adventure. Look at stuff, talk to people, pick what to say to them, be confused because the setting's really confusing because there's this. I don't really know how to describe. There's these ghost people you see early on. And there seems to be a lot of supernatural stuff going on that makes things really mysterious. I don't think I'm supposed to know much about what the actual setting is, but what is there is really cool and interesting. I'm in Kentucky delivering packages to people, and I can't find this house that I'm trying to deliver the package to. So I thought, and that's the, I guess, impetus for the game and the player character.
Okay. So
yeah, and just a lot of potential to live up to.
All right. Excellent. Well,
don't know if it'll be real.
Well, I guess it's good that it made such an interesting first impression, and that you want it to be so good. I can imagine that's only a good thing.
Yeah, I do have high hopes for the next. Again, I don't think they've even said when the second episode's coming. Okay. I've already paid for 5 of them, so
hopefully they come out. Man.
All right, moving on to February.
All right.
I don't have. First, let's take care of iOS stuff because I don't have an iOS device, but I know Isaiah does.
That's
Have
right.
you heard of Year Walk or Ridiculous Fishing?
I've not downloaded any of those. I've heard good things though.
Okay, yeah. Those are the only two I'm not really keeping super good track of iOS games. I don't have an iOS device, but yeah, those two seem to have made an impact.
I know
Yes,
GiantBomb.com specifically talking a lot about Year Walk on their podcast, and it sounds really interesting. So that'd be interesting to see if one of us could play it at some point.
Sounds scary.
It does. I don't do scary.
Yep. No, since we're doing other scary games that no one's played yet, Slender the Arrival came out in March, but
Yeah,
that was, I guess we aren't going to talk about that one, so marked off.
probably.
All right, moving on to February. We have Dead Space 3,
Yep.
which I'm the only one to have played, I believe. I know Dave started it, and I have had my review done for a while, so my part of the review.
Yeah, I would maybe encourage you to just finish it. But
Okay.
anyway.
I know he's at least started it, so I might call and get some info.
Okay, that's good. All right.
Isaac
But
Clarke
anyway.
is now a full-blown action star, so he is hardly a... I mean, there are certainly some survival horror elements still, and there are certainly some scary moments, but it's just so much more action-y. And the third person, like, in fighting, like, there's cover in this game. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm out. But I got it anyway, and it works and feels a lot more natural than I thought it would. I felt like they were just, they're throwing in people because they think people want to shoot people and not dead people. When I first heard that they were adding people into the game. But.
I shoot dead people.
Exactly. Reanimated into these horrific monsters that are trying to kill me.
Oh no!
I also played the DLC for this one. What was it called? Awakening.
Yes.
It actually made me like the game less, I think, in general. In general, I think it made me like the game less, though, which is a bummer.
That's exactly the opposite of what DLC is supposed to do.
Yeah, it is. Well, I like the end of the base game because it leaves things very open for Isaac and the new guy, Carver, I think is his name. Forgettable character X. And
Yeah.
then the DLC has a just unfairly brutal cliffhanger that is not fun, or it looks like they're going to do a Dead Space 4 probably.
Oh, man.
When it looked like at the end of the base game that, yeah, they could do a Dead Space 4 if they really wanted to. They could make it work.
Huh.
It's kind of like the, what was it? The last Mass Effect 2 DLC. Set up everything for 3. It feels kind of like that, but it being so close to the original game's launch and so far away from a sequel that...
Yeah, that's kind of brutal.
Disingenuous and very nice.
Yeah.
And what they do add as far as like gameplay and stuff, it's somewhat interesting, but I wouldn't say it's great. I would recommend Virgil's Downfall over Dead Space 3.
Okay.
But overall, Dead Space 3 was pretty good, and I liked it. Dead Space 1 was a lot of fun and really, really excellent. Definitely my favorite of the three. And then Dead Space 2 disappointed me because there was a lot of light, and there were people, and it just kind of destroyed a lot of what made me really like the first game. There's a part in the second game where you actually go back to the Ishimura, the spaceship that you're on in the first game.
Oh, cool.
And that was the best part of Dead Space 2. So
Nice.
Probably says a lot.
Maybe I just want the same thing over and over again. I've been thinking about that a lot. It's like, why did I like Dead Space 2? And then I remembered that it took me like 6 hours to beat, and it was really, really... But Dead Space 3 uses a lot more color, or Dead Space 2 uses a lot more color than 1, which is good, I guess. Kind of, even though it's the depressing setting.
Yeah.
And then Dead Space 3 actually has a lot less color than the second one, because you're on an ice planet for about half the time. It's all snow. And there's a lot of rotating doors that you're wading through. But the gameplay, once you hit the planet, gets really repetitive. But it's still fun, and it looks pretty good. But, I mean, because my expectations were brought so low with Dead Space 2, I had very low ones for Dead Space 3. And it at least, I think it surpassed them somewhat. So it definitely wasn't a waste of time.
Okay.
And if you like the Dead Space series, it is worth playing.
All right. Interesting.
That's about all I got on.
It seems like that franchise in particular is really taking a hit in that they're trying to really make it more accessible to more people, and I would imagine that's why it's losing a lot of the horror element and gaining a lot more of the action style. But EA likes money, so we'll probably see that. We'll probably see that continue. So
That's not gonna.
Oh man! All right, well, so that's Dead Space 3.
All right. Anyone want to talk about Aliens: Colonial Marines?
Oh goodness!
Do I?
I didn't play it.
I beat that game.
All right, Zach played it. Let's hear it.
All right.
All right.
I will say this: warning alert! If you are not a fan of the movies, do not play the game. But if you are the fan of the movies, I would advise you to rent this game. The game is pretty bad. So the only thing it does great in is sound effects and lighting effects. Other than that, it's pretty basic standard. Graphically, it's pretty much last gen. It's like almost late Xbox.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Ooh.
And then also, AI is pretty retarded. Sometimes you'll have the xenomorphs, the aliens in the game, run straight at you. Before like crawling on walls and stuff.
That's not good at all.
It's terrible. However, the game is brutal because your character dies in a couple hits, even on easy.
Huh. All right.
So sometimes it levels the playing field like that.
All right. That's
What is the redeeming value of Aliens: Colonial Marines?
Actually, the story was actually redeemable. Some of the sections in there was actually pretty creepy. So if you like a little bit of a horror feel to it, it's got a good genre there. But other than that, some of the weapons you can upgrade. However, you can't upgrade them very well. They try to do something like that.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Dead Space 3 added a whole new weapon upgrade system. Anyway.
Oh, really?
They did.
Oh.
They did.
Yeah. So that's something. But not much else to say about it.
All right.
Is there anything else on Aliens?
Not so much. Just
right.
if you're a fan of the show, play the game.
Okay.
But only rent the game.
Yes, only rent.
Do not buy this game. That is a do
I
not
think
buy.
it's about 6 hours.
Okay. That's
and you don't reinforce bad behavior.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is. Oh, we got anything else on Aliens?
No, I'm very
don't.
interested in hearing what Derek has to say about that, as I believe he's our official reviewer. So I look forward to hearing that when we chat with him later in the week. So.
All right. Next, I'll talk a little bit about Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, also possibly known as Sly 4. I've only started it, so I haven't. Maybe like 30 minutes in. I played a little bit of the original and not much of. I didn't play any of 2 or 3. The best thing I can say about Sly 4 so far is that it is really good looking. The cel-shaded graphics have definitely aged well, and I believe it's a new studio this time. That's good to see. Sly looks really good in HD, so that's a big plus. The game skew's quite young and is extremely easy so far. But it's only the start, so that could change, I guess. Probably won't. But
we'll see.
I'll try chugging through that one. Moving on, there's that. Oh gosh, the PS3 RPG. That also, I think the Vita game came out too. Atelier Aisha, the Alchemist of Dust.
Yep.
Yeah. Zach said he might be interested in the Vita one. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That came out.
Yeah, top-selling Vita game right now, so that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that, third in the series?
I have no idea. Probably.
I think it's the third or the fourth one, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I actually missed a January game. Corpse Party 2. I can't remember the actual subtitle. I'll look it up here real quick. I definitely plan on playing those when I get back home, where my Vita is, or my PSP is, not my Vita. Because it's an actual PSP game. Book of Shadows. I bring my PSP.
I did not realize that was a PSP game.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
I'll try to play both of those. I dig visual novels after 999, so
yeah.
Hopefully it's got a high bar to meet 999. I don't think it will, but I'm definitely willing to give it a shot. That'll be later. Fire Emblem Awakening.
Oh, here goes.
Came out in February. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to change pants, guys.
No, I hear that game's... okay, now you're going to have to change pants because I hear that game is really not very good, right? I've heard it's pretty crappy.
Oh. No, quite the opposite.
Okay.
Worst game ever.
And if we did have best box art, which I think we should add to our awards, nominate Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yeah, that game's box art is incredible.
So, Isaiah, why don't you start us off on this one?
Well, that is actually the game that I bought my 3DS for.
All right.
That says a lot.
I've had a little bit of experience with the series in the past. I played the GBA one, but I didn't play any of the the original DS ones.
All right.
Very, very impressive game. I know the combat is very good. You have a lot of different classes.
So good.
Yeah, the curves really awesome. A lot of opportunities just for to grind if you need to, but for the most part you really don't. It's just really fun to. Just to create really powerful.
Exactly. He's telling the truth. All right, break down to us why grinding is fun.
Okay, yeah, I need to know this.
Pretty much, like, characters have infinite possibilities for growth, because you can reclass them as many times as you want, really, once the game starts, and they keep their stats, but they change classes. They go down a little bit in stats just because they change, based on what class they are. But then when they level up again, then stats just build on that. So you can create these crazy powerful, really awesome characters.
Okay, so a question I would have then is, why would I want to take a character in a direction that they weren't originally going and lose some progress, as opposed to just getting a character that is supposed to be that class? Like, why would I do that?
Skills.
Huh? Skills. Okay.
Yeah. I believe the max level for most classes is 20, or is it 15? In a couple
20.
months. 20, yeah. So you get one at like 10 and 15, 20, I think. Isaiah probably remembers better than I do. It's been a couple months for me. But yeah, so once you max out a class, you definitely want to change up so they can learn more skills and be more effective in battle. But the way grinding is fun for me is that, I want to have a more powerful team so I can just destroy and dominate the field. But I also want to have build my characters' relationships. As far as character-to-character writing goes, it's probably my favorite game of the year so far on that aspect for sure. And yes, that is including BioShock Infinite, which is good in that department as well, of course. But just the number of characters and the seemingly infinite population or permutations of romances that you can have in that game. I know Isaiah and I had a pretty long discussion about who we had paired with who, and then what happened, and why this one was interesting, and we would hypothesize, well, what happens if these two would get together? It's just really cool managing that section in the game, and it also overlaps into the combat as well, and they become more effective fighting partners. It serves a purpose both as far as like just pure entertainment value because the writing's really good, and then also for your legitimate getting the job done in battle.
Right.
Interesting.
Your own main character can actually team up with every single character that will ever join your party. And with each different character, there's 4 different cutscenes. And one when they first become friends, and they become C rank, then B, and then A. Actually, if they're opposite sexes, then they can get married and move up to A rank. And each of those is accompanied by S rank, yeah, and that is accompanied by a cutscene. All of those are a lot of dialogue, and most of your characters can team up with not everybody, but probably at least 12 to 15 different characters.
And it shows you a list of all the characters that they could partner with as well, so you don't have to guess.
Right. So what I'm getting out of this is Fire Emblem Awakening dating sim of the year.
My subtitle was Make Love and War in Fire Emblem Awakening.
Nice. All right. This sounds like a very weird game. Okay. Seems interesting at the very least. So I'll have to give that one a shot.
Yeah, definitely give that one a shot. It's super addicting.
Initial prognosis is not
turn-based strategy games.
My newfound love for easy turn-based strategy games. Sure.
There's an easy mode.
There's casual mode. I will be taking the absolute easiest way through that game possible, so no worries there.
All right. Yeah, I talk about permadeath in my review a little bit, but
I'll play with permadeath, but I'm going to play on the easiest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to deprive myself of that part of the experience. It seems pretty important. So, especially when you're trying to build all these relationships up, it seems like that would be a pretty vital mechanic. So, I guess I'll keep that in.
Definitely.
Even though, like the first time I lose a character that I've spent dozens of hours with, though, I'm probably going to turn it away and never play it again. So, we'll see.
All you have to do is just reset the game. Yep.
What do you mean restart, Alex? In a game where you're all about keeping consequences?
Not on that game.
Not on that game?
I would not have been able to beat that game if I kept going every time a character died.
All right, good to know. So, all right, I'll let you guys handle Fire Emblem Awakening, and I'll play other things. Okay.
But I think I did end the game with probably about 12 people dead.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did let some slide when I had to.
All right.
Very rough. 3 or 4. I don't know. It's just a little bit of grinding. Like, not even very much. Like, I can send 2 characters out to the middle of the field, and they will destroy the entire enemy team.
Okay.
It's awesome.
All right. All right. I will play Fire Emblem Awakening, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes.
It will go well.
I hope so. I really do. I know that it's always been hard for me to like those games in the past, so I look forward to seeing how this one goes.
The story is fantastic.
Yeah, I actually watched the opening cutscene, and it was just blown away by how amazing it was. So yeah.
Oh, best 3D on the 3DS. It's the only game I've been able to play or have seen where I can play with the 3D on the entire time.
Ahead of us here and nominate Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon for that, but okay. As far as 3D goes, it's really good looking. But anyway, we got anything else on Fire Emblem?
No.
No, that covers it pretty well, I think.
All right. Since we're all of us have 3DSs now, of us 4. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Whoa, yeah.
I'm guessing I'm the only one who's played Brain Age Concentration Training.
Yes.
That's okay. You aren't missing out on much. It's okay. It's another Brain Age game. I talk in my review why it makes itself seem like it's important. And I don't know if it exactly works.
Okay.
In my review, I talked about how it only worked for me when I was really procrastinating on a paper that I really needed to work on, but I grabbed 3DS, opened it up, did like the longest training session I ever did. So I did like 4 of the devilish training sessions in a row, which are 5 minutes apiece. So I did about 20 minutes in a row of it, and then I went to the paper, and then I just focused, like, got a lot done. So, like, the immediate effects lasted, but, like, the next couple days or so, I couldn't. The focus wasn't there. But there's a difference between focus and motivation, which need to find a motivation training game, apparently.
I really wish they made one of those.
That would be very nice.
Yeah, that would sell really well. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to look at. I can't say I would recommend any of you guys to buy it, but you can check out my copy when I get back home.
Sounds good. Good.
All right, moving on. Etrian Odyssey 4: Legends of the Titan. Dave has had that one assigned. I'm gonna guess he hasn't got it yet. But I did play the demo. Did you ever play that demo, Isaiah?
I did not. Okay. I have it downloaded.
It seems like a JRPG without the story. So I'm kind of out.
That seems lame.
Yeah, presentationally, though, it is very good. It's an Atlas game, and it's like a Persona game except green instead of the yellow for Persona 4 and blue for Persona 3. So it's got all pretty green menus, and there's a ton of character classes. There's a lot of management going on if you're into that kind of stuff, and I don't know if I could really get into it.
Sounds like a Dave game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think he would really like it, so I hope he does get it.
Yeah.
So that's a game.
Of all the games released this year, it is one of them.
Is it a 3DS?
It is a 3DS game. Yep.
It is.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Next is a downloadable only game called Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds. And Brock, did you read my review of that one? I can't remember if you had it yet or not.
I had not yet.
Okay, because I don't know. I had a lot more fun with that one. Went somewhat untraditional. Subtitle for that one was Phantom Breaker versus the World, because it's pretty much Scott Pilgrim against the world or versus the world clone. of
Nice.
that game. So except it plays better because there's like combo systems and it's on 2 rails, so you don't have to actually try to hit on a 3D plane, or you're moving a 2D character on a 3D plane. You don't have to worry about like you did in Scott Pilgrim or River City Ransom. You have 2 planes that you switch back and forth.
So like Little Big Planet.
Like Little Big Planet, except with only 2, and that makes it a lot easier for crowd control as well, because like enemies will jump back and forth, and when you're fighting boss fights, it makes it a lot easier to take advantage of switching back and forth to dodge and such. So that's a pretty fun game. I think it's based on an anime. I didn't look it up. There was a fighting game that came out, like a legitimate like 2D fighting game, came out on the 360 this generation, but I don't think it reviewed terribly well. But this little brawler, I had a good time with. Me and 2 friends here beat it in 1 session, about 6 hours. So
nice.
It was a good time. Yeah. If you guys like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game about the movie, about the comic books, I would recommend Phantom Breaker, and it's really good with multiplayer. So that's something we could do when I get back as well.
Very cool.
Let's see. Next, we'll go with Runner 2, Future Legend of Rhythm Alien. There we go.
This thrilling review brought to you by Shorty's Milk Brine. It could be worse. Oh man.
There you go.
Each session starts with a fake advertisement that is just really stupid or funny in some way.
Yeah, that's pretty
Nice.
That was my personal favorite. All right, Rhythm 2, Runner 2, Future Legend of Rhythm Alien, obviously a sequel to Bit Trip Runner, released on the Wii and I think a couple of different platforms after that. Alex, you reviewed this one with me, and we recorded our very first audio review for that, so hopefully people will listen to that.
Probably really good.
It probably is really good. It's probably really enjoyable to listen to. So it's pretty good, yeah. But anyway, that game's pretty solid. I enjoyed it a lot. Definitely better than the original game.
Agree.
Let's see. Oh goodness! But we're getting some interesting sounds out of your mic, Zach. So anyway,
Relax.
Is it my mic?
Yes.
Is it Isaiah's mic? All right. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Okay. Good. Yes. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We'll go ahead and talk some about Runner 2 while they're sorting this out. Alex, you wanna lead us into this discussion?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Having played all the Bit Trip games, this is the most polished, definitely, and you can tell they put a lot more work into this one. At least it looks that way, because the presentation is really strong.
Just excellent.
And yeah, the music's really good too. It's still like an interactive music experience, so that's still cool.
Yeah.
So I like this one more.
It is certainly less brutally difficult than Bit Trip Runner for the Wii originally. Yeah. So that's a very nice change. Something I think I neglected to bring up in the audio review, though, that I think you might find interesting, Alex, is that the person who did the music for Runner 2 is actually the same person who composed the music for Fez.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, same artist. Yeah, a little similar in some ways. So yeah, it was an interesting little surprise that I found going through that. So,
well, Bit Trip got amazing reviews. Runner 2,
it did. It did review really well.
Yep.
Yeah.
It certainly deserved. Huh?
Me and Brock have copies of it. So.
Indeed, yeah. I have the Wii U version, and Alex has the 360. So you can experience that game in 2 different ways.
Oh man.
Yeah, and playing on the gamepad's actually really cool, so that works out really well.
Does it let you do just gamepad mode?
Yeah.
Can you play the whole game on
the I played the entire game not looking at my television, so...
I probably asked that in the review that we did, but I can't remember.
I think I mentioned that, I think, at some point.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I never even looked at the TV. I would have the TV on, because I feel like it sent different sounds through the television and the gamepad. At least it may not have, but it seemed like it at times. But, yeah, it was really cool to just be able to sit on the couch or in a chair and just kind of have that in my lap, looking down at it. And of course, it looks really good on the Wii's touchscreen, and that screen has a much higher resolution than my actual TV, so that works out rather well.
Cool.
Was that a full retail game?
No, that is a $15 downloadable game.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And a very nice amount of content, I think, for the investment. There are easily triple the amount of levels in the game. Maybe, well, let's see. Actually, it could have been as many as, 9 times as many levels. So,
Yeah.
So if you like Runner 1, definitely play Runner 2.
Yeah, definitely.
So that works out very well. Yeah. You had played Runner 1, right, Isaiah?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Okay. Then it's if you enjoyed that, it kind of ups the ante in a couple gameplay mechanic ways, but it also gives you a checkpoint, so if you screw up right before the end of a level, if you feel like taking the checkpoint, you can actually skip them for bonus points, but if you take the checkpoint, you'll spawn right back halfway through the level and keep going, which kind of eases the pressure and the tension on these really long levels. All right.
Yeah, ready? Okay. Next one?
Sure.
All right. Next game is a PC exclusive that came out in February titled Antichamber, and it's really, really good.
I cannot wait to play that game.
I did really enjoy it. It is reminiscent of the original Portal. Not only that, it is fairly short. I think it clocked in about 4 hours. And not because of the story, just in how fresh and original the feel of the game is. It's a puzzle game at its core, and it's first person like Portal sets. And you get a gun-like device, kind of like a gun, I guess. But, so it, just aesthetically, it kind of will remind you of Portal. But more importantly, just how smart it is and makes you think. And it's challenging at times. I wouldn't say it's too hard, but there were a lot of times where it's like, man, I don't know what the heck to do here. And that would largely be because I didn't have the upgrade necessary to get through there. So as soon as I get an upgrade, it's like, oh, I need to go to these 4 rooms, and then I can, progress from there. But there is a great map that helps you navigate the world. That is, without that, man, I could not imagine having played that game. Just having it all in my mind would be, it might be kind of cool actually, but I definitely appreciate the convenience because you can, if you get to that main room, you can just warp to any of them instantly, any of the rooms.
Okay.
And I believe you just press escape and you go back to that room. So traversing the world is a breeze, and if you get stuck on a puzzle, just hit escape and go to another one. Yeah, it just plays really well. It looks awesome. The artistic direction is very, very appealing and unique, which is definitely a good thing in this case for sure.
Yeah.
So it combined a lot of unique gameplay and a great look to make a great experience.
Excellent. That's really good to hear. I'd followed that game for a little bit and was really hoping to get to play it myself, but I don't think my PCs would be up to the challenge. So I look forward to maybe getting the chance to hopefully play that on your machine when you get back or something like that.
Yeah.
That's definitely a game I've looked forward to for a while.
Yeah, it's really good.
Excellent. And let's see, I know you reviewed that one. You remember what score you gave it?
I'm pretty sure I gave it an 8.5.
8.5. Excellent.
Double check. Pretty sure. Which is also what I gave Dead Space 2, honestly.
Oh.
But that's without Dave's. So it'll either bring the up or down or the same. I don't know.
Yeah. Zach, have you solved your technical issues?
I don't think so. He's still messing around with it some.
All right. I guess maybe have him quickly restart the program or something like that. I don't think that'll affect anything on our end, so he should be able to just log out and log back in real quick. Anyway, we'll go ahead and keep going while we try to sort this out.
Alright, there was a PC game that came out called The Bridge. I think it reviewed decently. I didn't actually play it, though.
Okay, I don't think any of us.
I don't think anyone else does, so okay. Next is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Oh, so good.
All right, so in this game, you play a snake for like an hour, and then you play as Raiden, right? Something like that.
Oh, that's backwards.
Oh, wait, what? Really?
No, you play as Raiden the whole game.
Oh, okay, I was surprised. Okay, I was like, wait, you play as Raiden, and then you have to play a snake at the end? But no, okay.
Cool.
That'd be just absolutely ridiculous.
That would have been crazy. The ending of the game is crazy enough on its own, though, so I don't think it needed that at all. So. How far did you make it in it, Isaiah?
Not too far. About 4 hours.
How long? Oh, so you're almost done. It's not a very long game. Yeah. Did you make it to the sewers?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you got a good ways in then.
Yeah, it's really solid.
Man, I definitely need to replay that game on hard too. But yeah, the combat was just so satisfying. I need to play it again, just like I did with Bayonetta.
So I guess go ahead and describe, what that game is for people listening.
Okay, it is a third-person character action game. You play as Ryan from Metal Gear Solid 2 and 4, and now this one, even though it's not a Solid game, it's a Rising game. I hope they do a sequel. Gameplay mechanics are so sound, I don't know what they would do to make them better. But it's Platinum, so, they've probably got a lot of great stuff up their sleeves still. The story maintains a really good tradition of the series being just completely over the top and insane. This one probably more so than the others because I see a little bit of that Platinum influence for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
When the most human and relatable character is a robot AI, that kind of tells you something about the characters in the game, I guess.
So what you're telling me is the most robotic character isn't a robot, and the most human character isn't human at all. All right, that's so the other performances are pretty stiff.
Yeah. They kind of just gave a whole setting or cast of stereotypes, basically. Got your stereotypical black guy, and then got a girl who's, I believe Yahtzee was the one to mention that is just there to have the top two buttons of her blouse undone, and that's it. So, yeah, pretty cookie cutter in that department. And the villains are okay. Their motivations are questionable, of course, but logically questionable as well, which, that game's all about the action, not as much the main story. There's some really cool thematic elements with Raiden's character, but the ending of the game, it makes it all worth it because it just lets loose, and it takes it to another level of just crazy. I would like to know what they are eating or drinking over there to produce those kind of results.
I think they're just... I think it's just being in Japan. I think that's
pretty much.
That's a really important part of it, I think.
Yeah.
It's Japan.
Yeah. I know you mentioned the villains were sort of interesting. How do they stack up against, I guess, Metal Gear, series villains of old?
Oh, not even close. Not even close compared to Metal Gear Solid 3 and 4 or 1.
That's a bummer.
They might.
Yeah, 2s were... I didn't really like Vamp, so I guess that's a big detriment against it.
But that game's... it's a super fun action game, and maybe... Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else got anything to say on Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance?
I wanted to ask how the difficulty was. I know some reviewers ended up saying it was pretty difficult, but
yeah, I played on normal the first time, and I definitely want to replay it again on hard. It's a pretty good curve.
All right.
Master that blade mode and use it accurately as soon as you can, because there are 2 boss fights near the end that demand a lot of the player. That was certainly frustrating to me. It took me about almost an hour to do that last fight, doing it over and over again, because I kept failing this one specific part where you've got to cut a specific way, and it got a little frustrating, but it makes you really good at the game. So,
well, that's okay. All right.
But so there is a pretty smooth curve up until I guess it's almost too easy up until that point. Except there is when you fight it's Wolfblade at the very start. That's one difficulty spike at the very start, and then there's those 2 at the end. Otherwise, it's pretty easy. Those difficulty spikes are tough.
Okay. Well, very good.
Zach back with us?
I am back. Yes.
All right.
Excellent.
Good.
Sorted out. Any idea what the issue was?
I'm guessing my USB port kind of fell out halfway.
Oh, wow.
That's what was making the weird noise.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, all kinds of problems you don't see until you try to record something, with people all across the country. So, all right.
Oh,
excellent.
Yeah.
Glad we got that sorted out.
All right. Brock, you're cutting in and out a little bit. I don't know what's going on.
Am I? Okay. I'll try to work on that a little bit.
That's bad.
Okay. May just been a distance issue. All right. Anyway, wonder what's next.
Crisis 3.
Oh man. Okay.
I've been listening to the main theme of Crisis 2 a lot this week, and it confirms my disappointment with Crisis 3.
Yep.
Aww.
Definitely. The music in Crisis 2 is unbelievable. But in general, Crisis 2 is just a much, much superior game.
I'd say in like every way. So.
Yeah, pretty much in every way. Yeah, I don't know. Have I talked to you, either of you, Zach or Isaiah, about Crysis 3 yet?
You talked to me about it when we were in Chicago.
Ah, yes.
I'm in the dark.
Yes. Zach's in the dark? Okay. All right, yeah, and I think Alex will back me up on this. He's reviewing the game with me. That game is just a big disappointment. Easily one of my front runners for disappointment of the year. Not to say it's a bad game.
Wow.
Not to say it's a bad game, because it's not bad in really any way, but it's just not even really all that close to what it could have been. If they had just taken what they had set up in 2 and further refined that, maybe changed what they could, change what they needed to improve on, and improve what they were already doing right, Crysis 3 easily would have been one of the front runners for game of the first quarter of the year, in my opinion. But where it is, the combat, in my opinion, takes a step down. The environments kind of take a step down. The upgrade system kind of takes a step down. Just the way you upgrade things kind of takes a step down. The music takes a huge step down. The story takes a huge step down. Like
everything,
literally everything isn't as good as it was in Crysis 2.
Even like technically, like it.
Yeah,
wow.
I had
serious problems with the 360 version.
Yeah, the game crashed on me once, and I fell through the environment twice, having to forcibly restart the game. So I don't really like to criticize a game too much for stuff like that, especially one that tries to do so many things on the technical end as Crysis 3. But it got really frustrating at times, and the AI is certainly not perfect. I did have a couple little weird issues there. But yeah, that game could have used a little more polish and some much better design.
And it was short. Dude, like maybe 2/3 of the second game length?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. I think I definitely spent more time playing through Crysis 3 than most, but it still would not touch my playtime in Crysis 2. Yeah. But yeah, just I would certainly encourage anybody who's played the series or any of the series so far to play Crysis 3. But I don't think I could really recommend it to too many people other than that. There are certainly more interesting shooters out there. If you want, from a visual perspective, sure. It looks absolutely fantastic on whatever platform on which you play it. But yeah, it's a lot harder to recommend than Crysis 2, which maybe I enjoyed that game more than most people, but Crysis 2 is just so much better.
It is. Definitely is.
All right.
Isaiah, you want to talk about StarCraft?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think most of the way through the campaign. I haven't finished it. But it's really, really solid. The story is pretty cheesy, and a lot of like the dialogue is. They just do a lot of references to different things and stuff. It's really, really enjoyable. The campaign, especially, pretty much every mission, you have a new kind of unit, or like a very different kind of objective. Like there's one amazing mission where you have to infiltrate this Protoss ship, and you start with just this one little Zerg, and you infest Protoss as you go, and you kind of eat them from the inside, and you grow bigger. And so eventually you're able to just confront units in battle, but you have to stick to the shadows for the beginning of it, and avoid patrols and stuff, and find smaller animals that you can infest first. So overall, like I haven't actually encountered any missions where it's just been straight up start with a base, build up your base, and destroy their base. It's very,
all the
very
bases belong to you.
very enjoyable. The multiplayer is good. They added a lot of new balance units. I haven't played that much of it, not as much as the first StarCraft 2 base, vanilla, and overall $40, whole new campaign, very enjoyable. Would definitely recommend it to any real-time strategy fan.
As soon as I finish Wings of Liberty, I'll be all over that.
Alright.
Yeah, I look forward to it. It looks really good.
Yeah, one really cool thing about it is that you have Kerrigan in every mission, and you upgrade her in different ways as you go. So yeah, so she can, she has all sorts of different abilities. Chain lightning and like mind crush. She actually reminds me, the way she functions actually, like of a League of Legends character, like the way they map her abilities out too. Oh, like a really powerful combination of a bunch of them actually. But just the way she controls, the way her action keys are mapped out, like it feels like a League character actually.
All right, interesting.
Because they use Q to R.
Oh, very nice.
In much the same way, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Anything else on StarCraft? 2 hots.
Not really. A lot of good custom games still. Just really, really like a lot of people have created. There's one really popular one that actually makes it very similar to like a Dota, like a MOBA, League of Legends type game, with some interesting building of new buildings mechanics and just if tons of replay value, a lot of value for sure from the game.
Yeah, especially for 40.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, originally they thought all the expansions were going to be standalone and $60, and people were very upset about that. So, $40 price point is much better.
Yeah,
but it's not.
Can't really argue,
now, right?
It is not standalone now.
Okay.
Why did it take 3 years?
That I don't have an answer to.
Because it's Blizzard.
They do what they want.
They take their balancing very seriously for the multiplayer.
As they should.
Indeed.
All right, speaking of PC games, anyone play SimCity? Or try to play SimCity, I should say?
No.
No.
Yeah. I'm only getting it if some of you guys do. I'm not going into that by myself to get trawled.
It's probably better now.
Actually,
probably.
Kotaku just ran an interesting picture about the state of SimCity right now. And no, there are still quite a few problems. It's not perfect by any means. But yeah, it's
They did just add in a cheetah mode though, so you have the higher speed back.
They did add that. I actually found it. I played a bit of SimCity 3000, well, quite a bit of SimCity 3000 back in the day, and I never gained the courage to run on cheetah. I always had way too many things going wrong to want that much time to go by that quickly. But maybe I just am not very good at SimCity. But I don't know.
I've actually played every SimCity game, going back to the original one I played on Super Nintendo.
I had no idea you had that much of a history with the series.
Yeah, actually, one of the first video games I played, actually. That was the first one. I think we owned that before even Mario on Super Nintendo.
Wow.
I played tons of SimCity 4, especially. So I kind of want to check it out because I have played a lot of the series. But I don't know, I've just heard so many things, and I just don't have time for another huge game right now either.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah. Right, there's one more PC game that came out in March called Retrograde. The rhythm shooter, I believe. I don't think anyone here's played it yet.
No, if I can find it, for a good price and stuff, and if I'm convinced my PC can handle it, I might give that a shot. It seems fairly interesting. So, yeah.
All right. Next, let's go to Tomb Raider. No, I beat it. Did anyone else here beat it? I know Derek reviewed it for us.
Yeah, I haven't played it.
Zach? I saw a few missions, but I didn't feel it.
I really like Tomb Raider a lot. It's making me question my tastes, which I don't know how I feel about yet. I just played through the original Gears of War for the first time in the last couple weeks, and I enjoyed that a lot more than I did originally. I had played it for about 2 hours and got through the first act, and I just dropped it because everything was gray and popping up and down and waiting for enemies to show up. That kind of waiting I just didn't find fun. I actually really enjoyed playing Gears of War this time, and Tomb Raider plays a lot like Uncharted, which I don't have a fond history of, and I really, really enjoy playing Tomb Raider, so I don't know what's wrong with me.
What's happening to you?
So either Tomb Raider's a really good Uncharted game that I actually like, or I'm just starting to like games I don't like. I don't know. So I think it is that Tomb Raider does add a lot more than Uncharted. Tomb Raider doesn't have the puzzles where you open up a book to find the answer and close it, and then now I know how to do it. It doesn't have as much of the 3D platforming where it 100% guides you where to go. There is still a lot of that, and there's a decent amount of quick time events still. But I really like the inclusion of an upgrade system and experience, and just the insane amount of collectibles. You could almost probably make the case that the core gameplay element is finding collectibles because there's so many of them in the game. Although the shooting is quite good as well. Yeah, that's a plus. I did in the story. I know a lot of people are complaining that Lara feels detached at the start, and she makes the transformation way too quickly. She has to kill a deer, and she starts to cry after she does, and then she kills a dude and breaks down, and that becomes even a bigger problem. And then as soon right after that scene, you pop up, and there's 5 or 6 dudes you kill with no sign of regret at all. I didn't really feel that disconnect like a lot of other reviewers did. I really enjoyed my time with it. So I know Derek gave it, I believe, a 9.5. I don't know if I would have given it that high.
He was thoroughly impressed through that game.
It is impressive, and it is a lot of fun. So I would certainly recommend it. I haven't played the multiplayer yet, so I'm going to do that soon. Give that a shot.
Tomb Raider is definitely a game that kind of took my workplace by storm. Had a lot of people play that one very near launch and just come to me saying, yeah, this game's really cool, you need to try it. So that'll be one I look forward to giving a shot.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the recent Tomb Raiders. I played the original ones a lot, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like on PC forever ago.
So you fought a lot of dinosaurs, from what I understand.
Yeah.
I guess actually, technically, this was my first Tomb Raider game, but I did play Lara Croft in The Guardian of Light.
Yes,
which is a Lara Croft game, not a Tomb Raider game. So.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. I did like Guardian of Light though, but this was, I guess, closer to the original than that game was, but not much.
Yeah, I always wanted to play that game and never got the chance.
Alright, I think Zach said you were thinking about getting Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say by next time hopefully I would beat it and review it.
Wow, okay.
Alright.
It looks really good. I'm really excited.
Did anyone play The Walking Dead Survival Instinct?
No.
Did Derek get that?
Not really. Derek's thinking about renting it.
Good. He needs to review it.
Yeah.
And we will laugh.
Poor Derek.
Oh my word. Yeah. Feel bad for him.
That's a real bummer. Brock, were you going to say something about Naruto?
I'm hoping to play that with a coworker of mine. I go to his house occasionally, and he's really been enjoying the game. So he's fallen head over heels for the franchise though lately. So that may be something to do with it, but
probably
he seems to have some very good things to say about it. So I'll be interested in hearing that. And he has played some of the other games in the series, so he's kind of been comparing to those. So I look forward to getting my hands on it and seeing what it's like.
All right. I don't think anyone's played God of War Ascension yet.
Nope.
No, yeah. I'll probably pick that one up here pretty soon. I want to finish up Sly Cooper and a couple other things like Final Fantasy VII, but that's really high on my to-buy list, so I'll take care of that one later. And right now I'll talk about Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Mirrors of Fate, more colons, more subtitles. It is a Castlevania game on the 3DS. It is from a 2D perspective, but it does go behind the character and show almost a 3D-like perspective.
Okay.
But the actual gameplay is a cross between Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2010, 360 PS3 game. It was kind of a clone of God of War / Shadow of the Colossus that I really enjoyed. So I was actually kind of pumped for this game, and it plays a cross between that and a cross between the old classic Castlevania games, so more like the DS ones, Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, Order of Ecclesia. And though it blends the two elements from both games, it is worse than both games. It does not combine them for the better. It combines them for the worse, and it falls short of both of those titles. So
that's a real shame.
So yeah, it is a little unsatisfying, but there are some really cool boss fights. It looks okay. One of my biggest problems is that it sounds like the 3DS can't handle the audio. So like the speakers sound really bad when the music gets loud. I don't try to turn on my volume, see if that affects it, but I haven't actually beaten it yet, so I don't know how the story concludes, but it's really weak.
Wow, okay.
So, I should be finishing that one soon, though. It's a good game, but definitely not a great game.
Interesting, okay. Well, that's kind of a bummer, but I would have hoped that would have been better, but okay, I guess it is what it is.
Yep. Brock, you want to talk about Curse Spaloosh?
Yeah. I can go ahead and discuss that.
Go for it.
Yeah, that's it. Actually, the first game I purchased for my 3DS XL. So nice $3 download was the nicest way to kick that in. And I guess for the other people here, the only other game I purchased for it so far is Cave Story 3D. So that's
nice.
That's been okay. But anyway, Curse Spaloosh is a game where you play as an object being thrown down a large imaginary well. So, yeah, you start out as a rock, and there's a nice little intro cutscene between two nameless, faceless characters. I wonder what it's like, for this rock falling down this well, and we gotta wait till we hear the splash at the bottom. So then you get thrown into the well, it loads the game, and you're essentially just avoiding objects as you're moving down a circular tunnel. You have an HP bar. Hitting objects decreases this HP bar. There are certain things you can hit. Balloons, I believe, that somehow refill your HP. And then, so you're getting hitting balloons, and desperately trying to avoid things as you fall toward the water at the bottom. And yeah, it's okay. The game has 10 levels, 10 different wells down which you're thrown, which may sound fairly sparse until you realize that as you play through the game, you're unlocking different objects that can be thrown down the well. For example, a bouncy ball that has infinite HP but travels very, very slowly. So there's a leaderboard element to the game. You're trying to beat your previous times, and you can compare them to other friends that you have on the 3DS who are playing the game. So you're desperately trying to get down faster, losing less health. So you're not going to make it down very quickly, but you don't have to worry about dying. There are a few other objects. My personal favorite is a wooden fish, a Norwegian percussion instrument that makes kind of a poof noise whenever it hits anything, which I find really entertaining because I get to hear that noise every time I hit something going down the well. It's got 5 times the amount of HP as the rock, but it's also larger, so you're gonna hit stuff more. But you do get to hear that awesome sound. So that's a lot of fun. And you can unlock other various objects, and they play with the HP speed aspect pretty well. There's also a unique cutscene for each object being thrown down the well. Some of these are very, very humorously written and are nice little surprises that I didn't expect going in. So the game's got personality going for it that way. It is Nintendo published. So that's an interesting little 3DS release for them. Yeah, it's $3. It's a nice little toy. It's really silly, but if several of us picked it up, that could actually end up being quite fun. Trying to beat each other's times, especially with the risk reward system you get with different objects. So yeah, I encourage you guys, if you've got $3 to spare and want to download a quick little 3DS game, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely at least worth $3. So
Yeah, definitely. I would also advise not trying to play through all of it in one sitting, because that's. I was kind of compelled to do that because I wanted to see what the game was going to throw at me. But yeah, once you get to level 10, that's all the levels. So don't go unless there's something I've missed and you can unlock them somehow. But yeah, it's not too many levels. But if we get some good leaderboard chasing and stuff going, that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. Has anyone else talked about or played the Undercover? Zach, did you start Lego?
I didn't think I was on Lego. Was I on Lego?
I was just wondering if you had played it or not.
No, I have not. I've seen I've seen some of the stuff.
Okay, so
I would
Derek's
say it
been
looks
working
very
through it.
humorous. Yeah, he's working through it.
Okay.
I like the writing so far.
Oh gosh, it's so good. Man, Lego City Undercover's awesome. I don't know what it was. Maybe it just hit me at the right time. But man, I really, really, really enjoyed my time with Lego City Undercover for sure. And I'm anxious to write that review with Derek as soon as he hurries up and finishes it. But let me find my notes for it. All right. First off, it was just great to have something to play on the Wii U. Especially with Rayman Legends getting delayed and myself being extremely upset by that because we didn't have a decent game come out on Wii U between launch and Lego City Undercover. So that was a little frustrating. But yeah, like I said, the writing is top notch and it is one of the funniest games I've ever played, if not the funniest.
Oh, wow.
So I was just constantly smiling the whole time. First because you're in the Lego world, so you're gonna be smiling all the time anyway. And then you're driving around like an ambulance, and you hit a car, and like the top flies off like Legos, and it's just really satisfying. And it looks really good. Another thing that really surprised me, I guess, was the quality of the music in the game is very high. There's a special music when you're tracking footprints, and it's like detective music. It's always really atmospheric and really sets the tone for where you're at in that particular time. And despite the terrible, infamous loading screens that there are myriad of, the music there is very good. So it wasn't that bad for me, I guess. Also, because I knew the loading screens were too long, I would turn on the game, then go grab a drink or go to the bathroom. I would try to do things while the game was loading, so it didn't feel like it affected me as much. And if you don't go inside the main department, like where you buy upgrades and stuff, if you don't do that, I believe it was Stephen Totilo who reviewed it on Kotaku, who recommended only going in there once per time you play. So if you avoid that, you won't have as many of those loading screens, and you'll be good to go. The characters are also pretty strong. Chase McCain is this is a good premier character. So I'll definitely be nominating Best New Character of the Year. You have Rex Fury, who's a suitable antagonist, although he's not terribly visible throughout most of the game. My favorite secondary character was a character named Frank Honey, who's this just total idiot who helps you the whole game, and he's always just doing really stupid things. He's really childish, and the game does skew very young. Like, as far as combat goes, it's a no-brainer, and almost to the point of getting boring. The game gets a little formulaic by the end. I think there are only like 15 missions in the game, but they spread them out between like all these other things. So the game took me almost 20 hours to complete without doing a whole lot of the side stuff. But I did say that Tomb Raider had collectibles as the main gameplay there. Well, Lego would probably be an even better game for that. I heard described by someone as an inception of collectibles. Like, you have to collect these to get one of these, which there's an overall thing for collectibles that are gold bricks. Like, if you finish a mission, you get a gold brick. If you finish a mission within this amount of time, you get a gold brick. Or if you find like all the collectibles, you get a gold brick. If you build one of the special builds, you get a gold brick. So there's like all these different things that weigh into that overall number, and there's so many collectibles and cars to build and races, and it's a very full world, and it is one of the games open worlds I wanted to spend time in most in recent memory. More so than Assassin's Creed 3, more so than Saints Row 3 for sure.
Nice.
And Sleeping Dogs. Like, it was just a really great world, and maybe it's just I didn't really grow up with Legos, but I played with them here and there, and it took me back to a simpler time, I guess, and I really enjoyed it. And the writing's excellent, the music's excellent. The overall story itself is, I guess, surprisingly good for a Lego game that appears to be aimed at children.
All right.
But the writing is top notch. That's the best part for sure.
Very cool.
Got a couple quotes here.
Go for it.
One of them is really early, and the main character, Chase, says, progress bars. He's making fun of the load screens.
Nice.
And then there's one part when you're in the police station and you go down in the basement area, and there's a gym, and there's this gym attendee like saying, no pain, no gain, and then eventually he says, insert cliche here.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I don't know how many of them I want to ruin because they're all there's. I guess all right. I believe this is after you finish the game. There's some NPCs who say, "I'm 6 years old. He would have been in preschool then." Then the guy next to him turns, "No, elementary, my dear Watson." As in not preschool. So
That's hilarious.
there are a lot of really, really good one-liners and jokes.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Let's see. I guess one quick question I had is you mentioned getting gold bricks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was that doing anything for you as you played the game, or are they just kind of this is your
it's kind
percentage?
of almost like it's almost like a percentage completion.
Oh, okay.
There is a percentage completion, but that kind of gives it in a more visible way almost.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's I always find it nice if the collectibles are doing something for you, but when you've got that much stuff going on, I'd imagine it's a lot of the builds and stuff you're doing are very much their own reward.
Yeah, the actual gold bricks don't do anything, but like if you build a super build which gets you a gold brick, that will give you a different place where you can spawn vehicles. And when you spawn vehicles, you don't have to pay for them.
Nice.
So it's really important to do that. Then the race is like when you win a race, which I hate. I mean, I really don't like racing games, and I never do the racing mini games in open world games. But in this game, you unlock you unlock the car after you win a race.
Okay.
So I would unlock the fast cars so I could get around the rest of the game really fast, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Did anyone play Harmonite? I think Brock and I played the demo.
Correct.
Anyone play anything else other than that?
Mm-mm.
The only thing I have to say about it is that Runner 2's better, probably.
Yes, so far. Yeah, it seems so. I wasn't ultra thrilled with what I experienced in that demo. It seemed like a lot like, I mean, having played it right after finishing Runner 2 may have not been the best opportunity for Harmonite, but it seems like it's Runner 2 with less environment stuff, more combat stuff. There are bosses. That's about it.
And more Pokemon.
More Pokemon.
Yes, there are more Pokemon references by a factor of 1 billion times infinity. So, like the last level you can do in the demo is a remixed version of the cycling theme of from I think Pokemon Gold and Silver. But,
nice.
Yeah, and there are Pokeballs in the background and stuff. So there will be those references for those who appreciate them. But I'd certainly recommend Runner 2 over that so far.
Yeah, right there with you. Did anyone play Gears of War Judgment?
Nope.
No. I'll probably get that one eventually with my newfound, apparently, liking of Gears of War.
Yeah, that's...
I had, so...
That'll be a nice test of that, I guess.
Yeah. I'll probably play Gears of War 2 before I do that one, though.
All right.
All right.
I've heard good things. That's about it.
Sorry, right now I think I got 2 games left before we finish first quarter.
All right.
Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm the only one to have played that. I haven't played it very much. Oh, you started. Okay.
I started it.
Did you like it?
I stopped because I didn't really like what I was doing, but...
Whoa.
I don't know. I am certainly not the world's biggest fan of Luigi's Mansion either. So, it started really slow in the beginning.
Yeah, it does. I've only done 2 missions, so I haven't played it very much yet.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even get that far. I don't know.
The ringtone is so awesome.
The what?
His ringtone.
Oh,
that plays the theme of the game.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, that's a good ringtone, and I'm glad it's good because man, it interrupts you way too much in that opening mission.
Yes, it does.
My goodness, I took 2 steps. I was tap the screen. Listen to EGAD talk. The text goes so slow. Keep going. Okay, finally, I'm done talking to you. Okay, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna scan this light bulb thingy. Flash it. Din 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 din. Oh, come on. Just Oh, obviously you did this, Luigi. That's great. You should go do this. That's located literally 3 steps to my right. I know, but you need to go do that. Okay, and then he'll come back and tell you the next thing to do after you do that 14 seconds later. So, yeah, it does seem like a really well-made game. The game looks gorgeous. The game sounds really good. Luigi still hums the theme music, so that's a very nice inclusion. But yeah, it seems okay so far.
I haven't. I know it's supposed to be pretty long.
Yes, so I'm 20 plus.
Yeah. lose some of its charm with the added length. There's so much personality in that original one, Luigi's Mansion.
Yep. Yeah,
and I guess they're supposed to be pretty distinct, but
yeah, like there's a snow ice mansion at the very least. I know about that one. But they may pull the Nintendo cliche Fire World, Ice World kind of thing as well. Though. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But the exterior of one of the mansions was all covered in snow and ice, so we'll see how that impacts the game, I guess.
I really want to finish everything else I'm working on so I can really just dive into it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing what you think about it going forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think we got only one game left from first quarter. No, or when did Army 2 come out? That was March, right?
Maybe.
No one played Army.
I think so, yeah.
Alright, so no one played Army 2 yet. Zach's gonna probably review that one. Just drinking that excellence is the Devil's Cartel. That leaves BioShock Infinite, which I hear is okay.
That game seems alright so far, I suppose.
Overrated.
In all honesty, though, I probably like it less than most seem to like.
Okay.
So I don't know really what I can add that hasn't already been said by other people.
I don't know. Well,
I like the first game more.
Yeah.
That's what most of my argument comes down to, is that, yeah, BioShock Infinite's really good, but I like BioShock 1 more, which I think is somewhat fair and somewhat not fair to hold against it. But
no, sure it is. I mean, it's the same people making it, so you have a direct line of comparison. It's BioShock 1 was so good and so revered for what it did so differently at the time that it's going to be hard for any sequel, however unnecessary I think a sequel is to the original BioShock, to compare, to what it delivered back, when it was released. I don't know. I'm still of the mindset that BioShock never needed a sequel and never should have gotten one, but I am liking Infinite so far, so that's good.
I did just finish Minerva's Den, so
yeah.
Got back into BioShock 2. Yeah.
Now, is it better than BioShock 2?
Yes, it is better than BioShock 2. And I probably like BioShock 2 more than most. Yeah, how those work out.
Huh.
My number 103 of all time. That means anything to you. Out of my list of 760, is number 103.
Oh man, I remember back when that list was only 300.
So long. Not very long.
No, not yet, no.
Yeah, surprisingly. Yeah, and that might actually even have something to do with why I didn't like Infinite as much as the original. So I played so many games in between those two games. The original BioShock just made that much stronger of an impact on me than Infinite. And I mean, a lot of it probably boils down to, I guess, the way the story works. I like more in the original. The game ends somewhat abruptly in Infinite, and that was, I'll say, I don't want to say too much, of course, but a little unsatisfying for me. But it has been a fun game to discuss with others and read forums and that stuff. But I miss Mass Effect 3 Indoctrination Theory. It kind of brings out that side to me. It's like, I want to know everything about what's going on here, but it doesn't seem like there are that many different theories flying around about what's going on in that game.
I was going to say, is it really that up in the air?
There are a couple sticking points that are open to interpretation. I guess that's how I'll say it. And I can't. Yeah, I mean, the BioShock game has so much story. It's really hard to talk about it too much. Gameplay-wise, it's really fun, but that's not the best first-person I've ever played.
Yeah.
But
all right.
The skyline adds a lot. That's really cool.
Yeah, I wonder. One thing I'm really wondering getting into it, and of course I'm sure I'll figure this out for myself in a couple hours in the game. But how much freedom do you have to hop on and off of those at will? The idea of the skyline and that stuff makes it seem really open, but how open does it really end up being?
The game itself isn't very open at all. But there'll be different fighting arenas that'll have the skyline, so you can be on those as much as you want when you're up there. Except there's an enemy that'll shock them, so you gotta watch out for that.
Oh.
But then there are other arenas where they aren't there. But a combination of those and the tears with Elizabeth bringing in turrets or cover, it does make the gameplay pretty dynamic, switching between plasmids and guns, vigors and guns, which Vigors don't have any justification in Columbia like plasmids did in Rapture, so that's a sticking point. But
do they explain why they're called Vigors as opposed to plasmids?
If they did, I didn't catch it.
Huh. Okay. All right.
Which there probably is a good amount of stuff I didn't catch, because I probably got maybe 75% of the voxophones, which are the recording devices that actually provide a lot of really important information.
Okay.
Really?
All right.
Well, I would say definitely look out for as much of those as possible. And pay attention to them, because a lot of the really early ones won't make any sense, but a lot of people are citing those in their arguments. Like, well, they said this here, and like, I didn't remember that. Oh, yeah, that was one of the very first ones. And I'm sure there were some I didn't catch as well.
Okay.
So maybe good for a replay.
Yeah, it does. It is a good one to replay, which I've been working on other stuff, but I'll almost certainly do before the end of the year. Play it again.
Okay. Quick question: does the audio of the voxophone playback? Does that audio pop and crackle as much as the very first one did? Because that was actually really annoying.
I guess I didn't really notice, so probably close to the same. I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Okay. Well, I felt like I had to really, really strain to understand that first one, so I didn't know how much that was gonna continue. All right.
I guess any other questions about it?
I don't know. I don't want to ask too much because I'm about to play it, but I don't know about Zach and Isaiah.
No, I've been reading a lot about it. It has a 95 on Metacritic.
Does?
First game.
What? I gotta check.
Say it is 95. It's doing really well.
I think it's at 94 on 360.
Yeah. At least it was the other day.
Could be. Yeah, 95 on PS3 and PC, 94 on original Bioshock's at a 96. So yeah.
Oh, on Xbox.
Yeah, on 360.
Okay.
Gets it by a point.
I think I played the original Bioshock on PC. All right. Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to playing that more. I hope Zach and Isaiah, I hope you really get the chance to play it, because I'd like to see what you think of the first hour or so as well, because I was ultra impressed by just everything going on at the intro of that game. It makes a really great first impression.
Okay. Now, do they do the same thing?
Yet?
So what?
Go ahead, Zach.
I was say, do they do the same thing as what they did in first Bioshock, where they did a very good intro in the environment?
Yep. The intro, the first 10 minutes especially, are almost too similar to the original Bioshock. It very much felt as though it felt to me as though they were trying very hard to say, "Hey guys, we are the people who made the first one. Take this seriously, because we know what's up." So I mean.
Nice.
Yeah, you go in through a lighthouse, all that kind of stuff. So,
cool.
Yeah, it's a very, very awesome opening. And when you first really walk out onto the first big open platform in Columbia, and you see all the buildings moving around you, and all the buildings out in the distance, I was hit by a sense of scale that was far more impressive than Bioshock 1. You can really, you can tell that this is a huge place. That it's been there for a while, and that it's established, in the world as what it is. So I was very, very impressed by that moment.
That is definitely one thing that Infinite has over the original is you get to watch it transform, like Rapture, which is already a dystopia when you get there. So that's cool. You get to see it at Columbia at its heights, which is definitely a plus in its column. Its heights. Oh man, I didn't mean that thing.
Oh man, those are the best ones though. But yeah, it's just a super impressive opening. The way it sets up the citizens' fanatical devotion to the founding fathers and stuff like that is really, really, really creepy and just really well done.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well, we got a couple April games. You guys want to talk about those? I think Defiance came out. I don't know if anyone's planning on playing that.
No, not really.
Shooter or MMO. It's not reviewing terribly well.
It's last time I checked.
It sounds interesting. No plans to check it out, but
the experiment in and of itself, like a video game and a television show, being developed, side by side as effects, events in one affect the other. It's a really neat idea, but I don't think I would have much interest in playing an online MMO shooter right now. So, I don't know.
Tokitori 2 came out on Wii U.
Yes, it did.
That?
Yep. I don't really know anything about Tokitori 1, so...
I think it's a puzzle game, probably.
Yeah, something.
Did you ever play some Don't Starve, Brock?
I haven't gotten to play Don't Starve yet. I haven't sat down to play that one. But I look forward to giving it a shot.
Yeah, it's still in beta, so that comes out officially this month.
Yep.
Pretty soon here. I started playing a PC game called Evoland, and it tracks the evolution of gaming as a Legend of Zelda perspective at the start, and then you get out to like an open world where there's Final Fantasy random battles. So it's an homage to those two games, but it's really cool because you get these upgrades, and one of the first ones is color. So now your game is in color and progresses from what starts on like original Game Boys in black and white. And I've seen some screens that go to like PS1 era at least. So it'll be pretty cool to watch that. I've only played about 20 minutes or so. Make a first impression.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, I think we've only got 2 more left.
All right.
Battle Block Theater.
Yes.
Is pretty groovy. I found it interesting because I was smack-talking the kind of game it was to Brock not too long before it came out. I was talking about, I believe it's called Gianna Sisters.
Yep.
And how it's a platformer all about just collecting things, and how I think that's boring because there's not really any combat or anything.
Yep.
And Battle Block Theater is a platformer where you collect things. And it's actually really awesome. And a lot of that stems from it being super cooperative. I think I'm pretty sure it only does 2 players cooperatively, but I also believe there's a 4-player battle royale mode. But you really need cooperation with a second person. I don't know what they do when it's playing the game. They give you a dummy or something. I don't know. I haven't tried that yet.
All right.
But we could try to have a best announcer category, but the announcer in Battle Block Theater blows away Runners 2s, which I wouldn't have thought. There's Runner 2's Charles Martinet, who does a great job.
Yes,
the
he
Battle
does.
Block Theater announcer is the game. He's the one who does all the story, all the cutscenes. The lines are just ridiculous, and it's so funny.
Nice. That sounds awesome.
He's describing, this is in the first scene, so it's not really any spoilers, but he's talking about they're on your boat and you're with your friend Hattie Haddington, and then you get to the storm. There's this huge storm, and everyone's going crazy, and you get to the eye of the storm. He's like, then everyone was okay. We didn't lose anyone. And he's like, then the ocean was like psych, and everything got all crazy again. It's just really, really crazy. And there was a line that said, "We are in quite a pickle jar here." To another decent quote. But it is really funny, and I'm almost solely just playing it. Well, there's one other reason, but for the next cutscene because they're that ridiculous and hilarious. So that's a big plus.
Very cool.
The other reason I'm playing it is because you're collecting these gems. Oh well, you have to collect gems. I didn't say what you were collecting yet. You have to collect 3 gems per level to open up the exit and leave. There are normally about 6 or 7 gems per level, so you can get more. And then there's 1 ball of yarn that's normally more difficult to get. So with 5 balls of yarn, that'll get you a new weapon, and there are about probably a dozen to 20 weapons or so. I think I've got about 7 or so.
Okay.
Then it varies. There's a margin of diminishing returns, but there's all these different head types. Then they're classified by shape. You've got triangles and squares and rectangles and circles. I think that's it. There might be more, but you can pay 10 gems for a shape or a new character for that head type. There's all these different types of heads for all these different shapes. So I've been focusing on the rectangle one, and I'm up to, it cost me I think 20 gems now to buy another character from that one.
Wow.
So I'm just trying all of that type before I start trying the other ones.
All right. Very cool.
So the thrill of unlocking more character skins is the other reason why I'm playing Battle Block Theater. And it is fun with another person. So, and it looks just like Castle Crashers. There's some music that's very similar to Castle Crashers, therefore the music is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just oozing charm and silliness.
Now, why did that game take 6 years?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. I don't think I will like it more than Castle.
Okay, that's a good comparison to note, I guess, is how it stacks up that way.
And I'll have a review up when I beat it. There are 6 or 7 worlds, I can't remember.
Okay.
I'm through, I think, 4 of them, so I'm getting somewhat close.
All right.
Having to schedule with someone else has been difficult, but
Yeah,
happens.
Indeed.
The last game is... Oh, what are you saying?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Last game is Guacamelee.
Yeah.
I'm about an hour into. I'm liking it quite a bit. It is a 2D Metroidvania-style action game with a lot more focus on the action, so there's a pretty in-depth combo system that I totally really would not have explored at all, but there's a gym-like area where a chicken trains you how to fight, and you actually make combos. It's like Marvel vs. Capcom 3's, where it gives you the combo at the top, and then you just try to do that.
Okay.
And they can get pretty elaborate with the very limited set that the game provides you with, so that's pretty cool. Other than that, the upgrades are just straight up Metroidvania stuff. Except even more so in a sense. You have to get this move to open up red things, and this one to do green, this one to do yellow. Those are the 3 I have so far. I think I've only had 1 boss encounter so far, but they set it up so there's probably going to be at least 3 or 4 of those.
Okay.
Pretty good writing, pretty good music. Honestly, the first thing I thought when I booted it up is that I really, really wanted to eat some tacos. But I don't even think there is a pretty decent taco place around.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Really?
We do have a Taco Bell on campus, but...
You'll have to come back here, and we'll go to a place called Get's Tacos.
Okay.
They're pretty good.
I thought you were going to say Hacienda.
No,
Yeah,
I would not eat our tacos.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really, like, the way we make them is just really weird. Like, all the toppings are spewed out across the plate. You kind of have to knife and fork a taco. It doesn't make any sense to me. But, anyway. There's 3 releases of note this week, really. Dylan's Rolling Rest and The Last Ranger comes out on 3DS eShop. I believe it's a action tower defense game. I'll probably look into that one. Okay.
But would definitely appreciate help for sure. Speaking of help that I would like, Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers comes out on Tuesday, so if any of you guys want to help me out with that review, that'd be great. And Pandora's Tower also comes out this week. A Wii.
Oh, wow.
Wii
U.
Get to test out Wii emulator mode on the Wii U.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's that's the last of the 3 major Operation Rainfall games as they're called. But yeah, it's a lot of people
bringing it home.
Yeah, bringing it home, getting all 3 of them. So hopefully people buy that game so Nintendo understands that people in the United States like games for the Wii. And obviously Wii U. So yeah, hopefully that becomes a lot more fun.
Yeah.
That way.
And then the rest of the month we got Soul Sacrifice. Justice comes out soon.
Soul Sacrifice.
Justice is soon. The Star Trek game comes out soon.
Yeah.
Dead Island comes out the 23rd. The Last of Us is in...
Oh, The Last of Us.
The Lego City 3DS game comes out.
Yes, it does.
I actually have all these saved.
Weird it didn't come out at the same time as the Wii U one.
Yeah, especially since it's a prequel called The Chase Begins.
Yeah.
Huh.
The character's name is Chase. Yeah, but because I liked Undercover so much on the Wii U, I'm going to be very tempted. I'll probably wait for review scores, though, on that one.
All right.
Then we get Metro Last Light, Fuse, Remember Me. Got a pretty decent second quarter. And Animal Crossing.
Yeah, you guys will have to let me know how all those games go. Yeah, because
all of them?
All 4 of those.
Metro, Fuse, Remember Me, Animal Crossing?
Yep. I'm not really interested in any of those.
Not Fuse?
No, after they changed it away from being Overstrike and took away all semblance to anything unique it had, I completely lost interest. Yeah, they were like, oh, let's remove the personality and make this a totally generic third-person shooter. So
yeah.
They said it's still going to be funny.
Yeah, a lot of games try to be funny. So is Gears of War. Try again, Fuse. I don't know, like that game originally looked like Incredibles the third-person shooter. Like, it had that really cool art style going for it. It seemed like it was going to be really charming, really full of personality, and they had these unique-looking characters with all these unique abilities. And then they removed that art style, made it gritty and realistic, and then replaced the 4 crazy abilities with 4 abilities that seem much less crazy. So it seems like they've really tried to mass appeal that game out of my interest. It seems, but I don't know if it gets really good reviews. I'll probably look into it. I may try to see if a coworker or something will let me borrow it, or I can rent it. Or if it gets really good reviews, who knows? Maybe I'll rent it and then buy it. But yeah, it's I lost a lot of interest for that game. So I don't know. That's how I feel about that one, I suppose.
Yeah, that seems to be the common internet sentiment too on the game, from what I've been reading. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if it plays really well, that's what'll matter.
Yeah, definitely. I would think the common internet sentiment is EA. No, I can't buy.
Yeah, worst company in the world.
Yeah, apparently the worst company in the United States.
That's
again
dumb. I don't.
Yeah, it is.
I have no real hatred for EA, but I definitely don't like what they did to Overstrike.
Well, I was gonna do a top 10 recommendations, I guess, for the first quarter. I'll probably do a write-up for it, but I could talk about that real quick if you guys don't mind.
Okay.
I can do it alphabetically, so not as to divulge what my actual opinion or actual rankings of the games are.
Okay.
But if we're doing top 10, one of which I haven't played, which would be StarCraft: Heart of the Swarm, I think will definitely be a top 10 game of the first quarter. But if I make a games I've only played, then that would be Dead Space 3.
Okay.
Dead Space 3 is okay. It'd be my number 11, I guess, of the quarter. But yeah, so it's that and StarCraft. Yeah. But alphabetically, number 1 recommendation would have to be Anti-Chamber, for the reasons I mentioned earlier, because that game's just lots of fun. BioShock Infinite, right there. Devil May Cry, DMC, or that reversed, quite good as well. Fire Emblem Awakening, Lego City Undercover, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and Tomb Raider. That should be 10.
Alright.
Those would be the 10 I'd have to recommend. Yeah. As far as the downloadable onlys go, I do think I'll have Guacamelee and Battle Block over all the other ones. They're pretty good. Yep. So over Skulls, the Shogun, the Cave, and Phantom Break.
And Runner 2.
And Runner 2. Yep. That's all I had planned to talk about. Is there anything else we wanted to discuss?
Monster Hunter's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've stayed up till 5 in the morning more times this last month than any time in my entire life. But
wow.
Have you always been playing with Derek?
Yeah, pretty much. A little bit of single player, but I'd say probably 90 of the 100, probably actually 110 out of my 125 hours have been with Zach and Derek.
That's ridiculous.
It's addicting.
Yeah, because I come over and then, we play until about 5 in the morning. Sometimes 6.
So I would totally recommend the game if you have friends that have 3DSs and you own a Wii U. Totally recommend it.
So the two play well together?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my word. It's I have no issues with it so far.
Wow.
If we just sit in the same room, automatically, as soon as one of us fires up the game, it detects the other. We get a notification. No menus even to set it up. It works ridiculously well.
That's really impressive. Okay, very cool.
Yeah, and the graphics run pretty well on the 3DS as well.
I bet.
Yeah.
Probably looking better than the Wii version.
It does, actually. The original Wii version, anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Dang.
Yeah, the monsters are some of the most impressive things I've seen on the 3DS, actually.
Wow.
I believe it. I believe it.
So Zach, as a Vita owner, maybe you'll have a more of a perspective on this. But is it really? I mean, how hard does it hurt the Vita that this Monster Hunter game didn't come out on it?
I think it's going to hurt it really, really bad, especially in Japan.
Yeah.
But here, I'm not sure how it's going to hinder it as bad, but I think it's going to hurt them.
Okay.
So I was surprised it never went out on the Vita.
Yeah. Yep, I would imagine Nintendo is paying a pretty hefty sum to Capcom to not bring that out on the Vita.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Nintendo published Monster Hunter in Europe.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But Sony's got their answer. They got Soul Sacrifice, which I think looks really good.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as good, but it's going to be good.
Oh,
Hopefully.
it
It looks
Oh.
good.
I
It
don't
kind of
know.
reminds me of like a Dark Souls mixed with Monster Hunter.
Better than Monster Hunter.
I don't know. I'm like almost 90 hours in. It's still really good.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Man,
I
I-
haven't been bored once this entire time.
Man, okay. I thought I was playing a lot when I put in like 40 hours of Terraria in a week, but okay. All right.
It's been
wow.
a pretty solid 40 hours a week since it's come out.
Nice. Man. All right. That's okay. That's very cool. I really, before I was talking to Alex, before you guys came on the call, I was he told me how much you guys have been playing that game, and I was nowhere near prepared for the numbers I heard. So that's awesome. That's very impressive. Just the fact that that game has sustained your interest together, all three of you, that long and that hard is, I think that speaks a lot.
Oh, yeah. Actually, we unlocked the last level of monsters. It's called G rank.
Huh.
And it's an entirely new game.
Wow. Okay. So is it a little bittersweet knowing you're approaching the end of the content they've made so far?
I don't think we're almost done. Kind of scary.
All right.
They were like almost 100 hours in. They're like, you know what? We're just going to start you off again. And it's pretty much like playing the game all over again, but with the monsters doing different algorithm of stuff, new items, new armor.
Wow.
It's pretty much a new game.
All right.
New animation, new attacks on the monsters. Also, it's pretty intense. It's like they took speed before fighting them. Like they move so fast.
Very cool. All right.
That's what we've been playing.
Yeah.
All right.
And why Derek hasn't city yet.
Well, at least Monster Hunter came out this year, right?
It did.
The remake, yeah.
Yeah.
But it just as it's not really even a remake though. Like it has the original Monster Hunter Tri had something like 30 monsters. This one added 70 new ones.
Okay.
Dang.
So
And,
I guess sorry, go ahead.
It added 3,000 new weapons and armor.
Oh, geez. Okay. Wow. I guess my question to Alex is, how are we considering that game this year? Is that a re-release? Is that a remake? Like, is it up for awards?
Nope.
Wow. That's rough. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's what we figured. But it's fun anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I already played Heavy Rain.
Let's say it's only 4. I love that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you played through it?
I had forgotten. What?
Have you played through it with just killing everyone off?
No, I did one thing major different, but it didn't affect the story as much as I thought it would.
You should play the game trying to kill everyone.
Yeah, I really should. That does sound awesome, actually.
Okay. Man,
But I had forgotten how incredibly cinematic that game is, though. It really is just like a movie. That's pretty cool. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
I think
glad
I
every
played
game
through-
isn't like it, but it's definitely good at what it does.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I should give that game another shot someday.
You need to before but Beyond comes out.
Nah.
Yeah, that's what I'm really pumped for Beyond now.
I don't know. If I was ever going to play Beyond, I'd probably want to try Heavy Rain again before that. But, I don't know. Yeah, that game deserves a second chance. So
We need to start jump on game generation stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'll start piling lists and you guys add stuff to them, and I already started an Excel sheet with potential nominees.
Cool.
Or potential categories.
Okay.
I only came up with 2 so far.
Oh man, can you imagine just our Game of the Year categories lit, but just with every game that came out this generation?
Oh my word.
So like to have like the last like 8 or 9 winners against each other like that. Wow. Okay. Yep. That'd be. Yeah. There's a lot of prep work to be done there, but that could be awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, I think we come up with a lot of crazy categories too.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
2 easy ones here, like Best New Series, which I think could be just one of the best discussions probably.
Yeah.
Categorizing 2 or more games.
Oh, yeah.
Then I got best one and done, like El Shaddai or Catherine or something like that.
Yeah. Huh.
I think those could be really good discussions.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'll try to keep working up some crazy categories, and you guys can, I guess, message me or add them to our Google Drive.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely, Zach and Isaiah, if you haven't done that already, that's a really, really useful tool. So if you let me know your Gmails, I can share that file with you, and we can start, like, all the reviews are in there. Like, everything related to the site, to what we're doing, can just be put in there, immediately shared with everybody else. It's extremely convenient, and I've started using it a lot more on my own, just outside of this, and it's very, very useful. So I would heavily advise that. So go ahead and I detailed how to do all that stuff on the Facebook group. So if you look at that, I wrote some instructions.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about right now? We could. I know we could all probably go through what we've been playing outside of what came out this year, but we're currently at 135 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So 2.25 hours. So
Pretty good.
that is pretty good. So
Yeah, I have been playing my XCOM.
yeah. Actually, how's that?
Really, really tough.
Yep.
That game is not nice on you, but it's so fun.